This is a quick bonus tutorial on one-point perspectives, just based on some questions that I heard from you guys during our field trip. I actually took a photograph as I was leaving Lincoln Square down the street, because a lot of our one-point perspectives will be streetscapes. And you'll notice that there's some people along the sidewalk, so I'm going to use that to help me find my ground line. And what I'm going to do for you is sketch over the photograph. Obviously, you'll be sketching, just from what you see to your sketchbook, but just to help you start to visualize where your ground line is and your horizon line, I'm going to be sketching right over top of this photograph. So the ground line, I based on the furthest person I could see and the furthest spot I could see on the sidewalk, and that became my ground line. And then based off of that, I now need my horizon line. And I know that since this is pretty far in the distance, that my horizon line isn't going to be too far off of the ground line. If you're in person at the site, you can do the trick where you hold out your pencil straight ahead, close one eye, and that should give you an idea of where that would be. But you could also still use the scale figures or the people walking to figure out, okay, where is their eye level line? So I can see this person way back there, and this is about where their eye level line would be. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my horizon line. I'm using a pretty thick pen because I want you to be able to see it, but you can use light line weights when you make these drawings. Now, your vanishing point is always directly in front of where you're standing. So I was standing on the sidewalk a bit to the side, so I'm going to go ahead and draw in my point there that's directly in front. So you're already starting to get the framework to build your perspective. After that, you want to define your back wall. Now, because we're not inside, the back wall is a little bit different, but still I can see buildings about to this point. There's just a little bit of the roof peeking out. So I'm going to make that my back wall. So I'm going to bring a vertical line down to my ground level line, and that's going to be my back wall. Then same thing on this side. It's going to be a little bit taller, but I can see about to there. That would be my back wall on this side. Vertical line all the way down. Okay, so that's creating a nice structure here. And now we'll use these back wall lines to start making our roof line and our floor line of the buildings that we see in one-point perspective. So I'm going to start on this side where we can see this line coming up. So from my vanishing point, I'm going to draw, and you can draw lightly. The line comes out. And then over here, the other thing that I heard a lot of people say is the trees are in the way. And notice how I'm just working around it. In some cases, you might not be able to see what's happening, but you can usually get an idea of the overall form of the building, even beyond the trees. Like this, there's cars, and there's I think dining happening over there. You can't exactly see the line, the bottom line of the building, but I know that it's there. Bring that out. And then same thing on this side. So it's going to be a much more severe angle, but I'm connecting my vanishing point to the top of this back wall line that I have, which is the edge of that building, and that's going to give me that nice perspective line there. And then same thing here through the bottom where the back wall meets the ground. It's going to come right on out. Okay, so that's starting to give me the structure that I need, but I'm going to come back through, and now I can start dividing some of these buildings and adding in, some pieces might stick out more than others, and always come back to that vanishing point line from here. See how that creates that cornice there. And then same thing with the window lines. All the windows are aligned here and even on this side of the building, so I can bring yet another line from the vanishing point over and then start to fill in the windows from there. And I get the bottom of the windows in the same way. There's another architectural detail here. And then I've got the end of that set of buildings, then there's a street, and I can see another corner here. And then if you see that front facade, you're going to have just a horizontal line where it cuts back through the street. And then I would continue with more detail and just start layering on, starting with the larger things, you know, the roof shape and the windows. But we're not going to get too much into materials and things like that. But this is going to help set you up for creating the shapes. And notice that I'm ignoring some things. I'm ignoring signage, really just trying to get the shape of the building in perspective. And then this ending wall is very important. And again, it's going to be horizontal at the bottom because it's an elevation, just like this back wall. And then the sidewalk line from that vanishing point too. And then if you were sketching, you could also start to vary your line weight, so hopefully, you know, all your construction lines will be really light. You could come back with another layer. Even the trees, you can start ghosting them in really quickly. I've got this nice large tree. And it's already starting to become a nice one perspective form. And I would add, you know, even the signage details. You decide where you want the focus to be. You know, some signs I'm leaving out, but to me this sign is important, so I would add that in. Maybe it's not important to you, so you don't need to sketch it. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this will help. I'm going to upload this particular photograph, so if you wanted to go through the same exercise where you print and sketch over it, you can do that.